The Golden Boot Pod is proud to announce that merchandise is now available. We have everything from t-shirts and hoodies, to hats and beanies, to drinkware, to wearables and blankets. You can find it all under the merchandise tab at thegoldenboot.podbean.com or go directly to thegoldenboot.com. As always, thank you for supporting the Golden Boot Pod.
The views and opinions expressed in the Golden Boot podcast are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Golden Boot podcast as a whole. Welcome back to another edition of the Golden Boot podcast. It's your boy Pooh Bear. I got my man Aunt Petty Murphy in the building. Got my man Daniel D. Williams in the building. Unfortunately, Chris is not with us tonight. Y'all say a special prayer for him and his family. But also while we're on that topic, special prayers go out to former Alabama running back and current Washington Commander running back Brian Robinson. I'm sorry. As he was, we learned today that he was shot during an attempted robbery. But, fellas, good evening. How y'all doing?
What's up, man? I'm good. How y'all doing?
Good, man. Good. It's game week, baby.
It's game week. I'm getting ready.
Let's go.
We get a special press conference tomorrow. We get to go with the special holiday, saying shout out to the 29th of August, accepting all donations. And
hey, that's true. I'm about 2 weeks old, you know what I'm saying?
But fellas, let's go ahead and jump into it because we got special guests that's gonna be coming on, so we want to go ahead and knock these things out. First things first. Brian Driscoll of Irish Breakdown continues his Brian Kelly hate tour.
That's what he did. He had a breakdown, a mental breakdown.
Look, I mean, it's always hard losing something that's good. You know what I'm saying? It's always hard, especially when you think you're good.
It's one of them things where you didn't appreciate what you had while you had them, and now they're gone and you feel bitter.
Right. Right.
Y'all preaching tonight. What's good, everybody in the chat? Tuck, I see you. He say prayers. Tuck from the Down South Football podcast. We will be having Ben, aka I am DJ Double Dose. Let me get that right. I'll just say this: we have been warned. All the other co-hosts from the Down South Football podcast have warned us.
I love it. Let's go.
Yeah, shout out to my boy Renard. He say he praying for.
Hey, David ain't say, he just said, "Oh Lord." Hey, well, shout out to them, man. If y'all get a chance, go look them up on they are DSF podcast on Twitter. Go look them up, follow them. They break down the games and stuff, and it's we cover LSU, they cover a multitude.
They got it. They got a little everything covered.
So shout out to them. I'm trying to figure out who this is. I think I know. Shout out to Mrs. Petty.
I was about to say that's a married man.
She know he married. Trust me, I guarantee you she know he married. But shout out to Mrs. Petty. And one of the little Petties in the building. Hey, Miss Aaliyah.
Yeah.
Hey, Aaliyah, I got some good jokes for you too. I'll holler at you later on
The
that.
princess of the pod.
Alley Boy says,
What's up?
let's
What's
go.
up, baby?
Our man L Jeezy's. What's
Hell,
good,
Jesus,
fam?
what's happening, baby?
Rich.
Oh Lord,
This boy Rich. Let me tell you.
Hey, he
Here we
keeps saying
go.
we ducking him. We ain't ducking you, baby.
Here we
Rich,
go.
we had a Twitter space last night. We have a Twitter space today.
You could have hopped in that thing.
All
Anyway,
the time. All the time, man.
Jordan in there. But anyway, let's get back to this Brian Driscoll thing. Let's get back to this story. So he went on. So he was on last week. He was on Crane and Company. And he had a statement about Brian Kelly saying that he doesn't think he could win a national championship at LSU. That's fine. That's an opinion. But his reasoning behind it, he said that Notre Dame didn't have a lack of talent issue. They had a coaching issue, meaning Brian Kelly. But then he comes right back and says that Brian Kelly can't recruit. So which one is it?
Walking contradiction.
Right.
Yeah. So then he said that Brian Kelly won't be a fit at LSU because he's not. What he said, the furthest south he's ever coached was Cincinnati. But then he came back and said that the reason why he won't be a fit has nothing to do with geographical location.
Yeah, then he said that Brian Kelly can't recruit. And basically, okay, look at the number 6 recruiting class. And basically he gave that to everybody on the staff. And basically said that Harold Perkins had nothing to do with Brian Kelly. Like Harold Perkins just committed because he liked, being in Baton Rouge. And like he didn't talk to Brian. He went off the report that when Harold Perkins first said he hadn't talked to Brian Kelly yet. And then 2-3 months later was signing day. You know what I mean? And so just because he said that 2 months ago doesn't mean that hadn't changed before he signed. Like, he had a straw man argument, bro.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, in my opinion, man, we can go on. I mean, you guys lined it up perfectly.
I mean, it was, and then as
we giving this guy too much.
Paladin Papa says Brian Driscoll meltdown was funny. He and a bunch of laughing emojis. Cyanosis says Vandy making me money.
Vandy cost me some money.
Yeah.
I can't be mad at them though. They did what they were supposed to do.
Vandy plus 2.5 wins on the season looks very good right about it. I'm just saying. It's too late for it, but I told y'all. But Rich says, tell Daniel to send it to me. Oh, okay.
Bet I got you, Rich. I'll send it next time.
All right. Spencer in the building said, what's good, fam? Yeah. Now, Rich came. He said that Brian Driscoll's basically a bitter scoring ex. Completely agree. One thing that did come out of this that we've learned, Brian Driscoll had a very public feud with Brian Kelly to the fact that Brian Kelly called him out in a press conference. His media credentials were taken away. And Brian Driscoll not only got into it with Brian Kelly, he also got into it with players.
Right.
Yeah.
So he got an axe to grind pretty much. Would be
big axe, so hey, what can you say? I mean, I'll move on. We can move on that. Let's get into this. Let's talk about this. It's game week.
Yep.
Florida State is on the chopping block. I don't know if I can say on the chopping block.
They're on the chopping block.
They ready. They on the plate, ready for.
I see what you did there, though. The chopping block, since they got the little chop. I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
But let me ask this. From an LSU standpoint, what are some of the biggest concerns we have on offense?
I would say
as fans,
I would say for me is just the cohesion of the offensive line. Dellinger, first time, really for the most part playing center. We had concerns about him hiking the ball. Getting just timing. Timing is the first game. Florida State has already played their week 1 matchup, so. That's just my thing. The cohesion and the offensive line, just being on the same page for me.
Yeah. The running backs. I mean, we kind of know what Noah Kane is, but we haven't really seen him do it at LSU. and we've only seen limited carries from the guys behind him. So
and he's coming off an injury.
Yeah, so that would be my kind of main concern is like what are we getting from the running back position?
Yeah. I guess mine. So I'll say this: initially, it would have been quarterback. I didn't, and that was kind of not necessarily I'm scared the quarter what they'll do. It was more or less of how comfortable they will be. That has changed. The reports coming out of camp, everything I've heard, I'm no longer really worried about the quarterback. I guess my biggest concern is not even the offensive line, because everything I've heard and read and seen, pass block is not a problem. Run block is where I'm actually a little bit more concerned.
Yeah.
So, got Normal Guy says, "What's up?" Tiger Den Sports says,
What's
"First
up,
time
my
tuning in. Have a great show." He's an up and coming podcaster himself. He's reached out. We talked with him a little bit, so y'all check him out.
Yeah, go show him some love.
Show him some love, because hey, that's how we got somebody.
Driscoll.
Yeah, Brian Driscoll pops in and gives us the eyes. Welcome to the show, Brian. So,
hey guys, do us a favor. If you're in the comments, go ahead, like and share, please. Like and share.
All right.
Help you guys out.
All right. Now let's move over to the defensive side, because this is something that's been kind of a hot button topic, especially since yesterday. Biggest concerns on defense.
Hey, Tony, funny, bro. He said this, Tony.
He's so crazy.
That's hilarious.
Defensively, I'm gonna have to piggyback off what Jason said in the chat. Tackling. We saw Florida State's running backs especially show that they can break tackles if you don't wrap up. Yeah, if you try to come in with just a shoulder, then they're gonna make you pay for it. So, and some people in practice who have watched practice have said that I'm not gonna say it's been an issue with practice, but it's it's kind of been something to keep your eye on based off the way practice is going. Because they aren't taken to the ground on every drill. You know what I mean? Sometimes they're just hitting to the third wrap up type deal. So that's my main concern defensively.
I would say for me, it's being disciplined on the defensive line. Just simply because you watched that Florida State game, they ran a lot of read plays and read option plays.
Yeah.
So being able to just, read your keys, play your gaps, and keep contained. That would be the only thing I would say I would be concerned about.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Getting penetration, defensive line.
Pause.
Yeah. Getting that penetration. We hadn't. So it's kind of twofold with this one.
You don't want to get too much penetration.
Yeah, I'm wondering if our offensive line is, under Brad Davis, first full year, all season and everything. Have they stepped up so much or jailed so much to where they, saying they can, shut them out, saying keep, blitz coming. Hey, we picked it up. Scheme is perfect. Or is it that our defensive line just ain't what we thought, at least right in practice? That is a concern.
Can two things be true?
I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah. Can our offensive line have been improved and our defensive line still be talented?
Awesome. Yeah,
talented, but at the same time adjusting to a new scheme. You know what I mean? And so like last year, we know Mason Smith played DN because he wanted to play DN. You know what I mean? And some of these kind of things are changing. So I think, it's kind of one of them things where two things are true at once. The offensive line has improved, but the defensive line is talented, but they still have a little ways to go.
Yeah.
Hey, the chat is hilarious.
Yeah,
right. I would say, honestly, somebody said I'm worrying about the secondary. Jason, I'm not worrying about the secondary, honestly, just because I feel like we have a lot of talented guys, and we don't have – in the past, we've had a lot of young guys in our secondary. This year, I feel like we got a lot of guys who've gotten a lot of playing time. Now, they haven't played much with each other, but I feel like they have a lot of experience and they've seen a lot of snaps. So I'm pretty secure in that, man. Honestly.
That's my thing about the secondary is what you just said about they're experienced, but they haven't played together, and honestly, they hadn't practiced together a lot neither because of guys being injured and having time off and missing time and rotating the roster the way they have. So it's not that they're not talented or experienced. It's do they have the chemistry and do they have the trust to know that hey, their safety's gonna be over the top where it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? Whatever the case may be.
Right. Yeah. Don't try to do too much. Don't try to be a hero. Just play your position.
Hey, I got Emery Jones will be in probably the next 10 minutes or so. Let's look at some of these chats. Jason Bromfield says that the D-line will be the key to the win.
That's correct. That'll be the key to the season, guys.
Yeah. Not really concerned about the offense of FSU because they struggled in the red zone.
Say that. I'm worried about everybody.
Dion Black says, I think our defensive line is going to dominate their O-line. Tiger Den Sports says, I think if we can make Florida State one-dimensional, LSU defense will have a great game.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. LG said, I'm interested in the linebacker rotation. Mike Jones' first time starting at the spot, and Penn is fresh.
Not just that, but a lot of people want Harold Perkins to play, and he's made his splashes, but this is his first college action. You know what I mean? So I know it's looked good, but how much can you truly trust him? And it's not a knock. I'm just saying, you don't know what you have until you actually see it with him.
Right.
All right. And Keaton, all Chili Paul built with the six-pack. He came in and says Brad Davis has his hands all over the O-line. They're now a strength, and as BK said, will knock you in the mouth.
Ooh, when he said that, I like that.
I like it.
Well, I know BK said I didn't listen to the coaches show, but they said at the end of the coaches show that he said that they finna get ready to go beat up on Florida State. So I like that attitude.
Somebody said in Spaces last night, that's like saying Sissy Blue shirt, right?
They did say, know what?
Well, is it though? Is it?
No,
because Sissy Blue shirt was to a fan on game day.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. This is a week and 10 days before game day, and you saying coach speak. You know what I mean? Like I don't really necessarily think that's the same.
Yeah.
All right, some more from the chat. LG's our D-line has to have good gap discipline. We struggle with that the last few years, other than Bama. I agree.
That's very true.
And the thing is, you have guys that have played a lot of football. There's no reason for those guys not to be disciplined up front.
Yeah, and then you got to be, like you said, about the defensive line, especially keep it contained and not letting Jordan Travis look like Bo Nix did last year against us.
Right.
And extend plays and and make our guys on the back end have to try to cover for 7 seconds.
And look, you got number 18, your leader of the team, as one defensive end, and then Ali Gay is a 5th-year senior?
Yeah, those should be the two guys that doing their job.
That's right.
Yeah. Soft Store LLC. I feel like LSU is being safe and injury free is what they trying to do.
I hope so.
Great point. Yeah. That's a great point, man.
Yeah. Jason Brumfield comes in and say if Jordan Travis throws 30 times, LSU will win.
You know what? Can I say something real quick, Pooh?
Go ahead.
On that comment, the Soft Store LLC, that's a great point. Because we haven't heard about too many players getting injured this offseason. And we haven't heard any players getting in trouble.
That's very good right
this offseason also. So I mean that's a really good sign.
Hey, so y'all, I mean, just for behind the scenes, our man is hearing all this stuff, hear everything we saying about Florida State, and he over
there writing stuff down. He gonna be like, okay. At 7:48, you said this.
Hey, I can know what he doing. He write down these names. Okay, let me look you up because I'm gonna hit you up on social media after the game. But man, so one thing I do know about the game, Florida State, because we didn't have this in our notes. I know we're gonna talk about it with Ben, but Florida State's game yesterday, they did not run their full playbook. They didn't have
Of
to.
course not. Yeah,
Nah.
of course not.
Didn't have to. So what we saw was a glimpse of what they want to do. And that was just the basics. They may have been that was some of their throwaway plays. So
glorified scrimmage.
Well, I mean,
they
honestly,
only showed us what they wanted to show us, bro.
right. And what they showed us is they can run the football. Very vanilla, which is fine. But at the same time, I think, and I don't know this for sure, but they want to be a winning football team.
There you go. I was about to say, I don't know if they showed us I don't know how much they showed us that they can run the football, because whenever you have 34 missed tackles from the opposing team, that's going to inflate your rushing numbers. So I just think that they showed us that they want to run the football, they want to be a more physical team and be able to be kind of run first, and that they got multiple guys that they can run with, that it ain't no just one trick pony back there.
Right. And they do have a lot of talent at the running back position, guys. Don't sleep. Don't sleep.
One thing, Callie Bourne, Boot Ray says, I'm interested in seeing how House schemes his defense.
Me too.
That I am too. One thing I can say, we will be seeing blitz.
Is that Tony too?
Where?
Callie Bourne Boot Rays.
It might be.
You never know this dude, man.
Hey, you know what, Tony? If you want to make 10 of them and comment, that's okay.
Hey,
please make sure all 10 of them subscribe.
That's right.
Yeah. This is actually a good one. Andrew Paul's Hub Martin. He says, I don't doubt that the D-line will get in the backfield. It'll be containing Travis on the scramble in some situations. That is true. That is something that I know our man Blake over at AYS has expressed concern about is quarterback containment. So,
but let's say if you have a super duper athletic freak freshman QB spying, I mean, you can kind of keep an eye on that guy,
Yeah, but my question because BK did mention something about Harold Perkins spying on the quarterback, but you're not gonna do that every play. You know what I mean? True. So what happens?
You can.
Yeah, but then you predict very predictable
on NCAA. You can.
Yeah. So I just want to know how do you guarantee that you can keep the QB from using his legs too much on plays where you don't have a spot? That's why I think it's gonna come.
So whenever I played against pretty athletic quarterbacks, of course, not on that level, but you can have a guy in there to spy the quarterback. But then, I mean, if the quarterback chooses not to run, you can either blitz that guy, use him as an extra blitzer, or you can just drop him back and he can play zone. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's different things you can do that. He don't have to just look at the quarterback. It's different things that you can do with that spy.
Well, yeah. I mean, I get that, but I just don't think that you want to ever, play in and play out. You don't want to have one guy who that kind of isn't in zone coverage or man coverage or nothing. He's just spying. I don't think you want to do that. Like, situationally, yeah, but I don't think you want to do that every
I'm be honest, LSU, whenever LSU used to play Johnny Manziel, they did that.
Yeah. So it's fun. Excuse me. It's funny. Ed O in the building says, "What's good, boys? Just drafted a killer fantasy lineup. It's money season." That's like the third time I've heard somebody talk about fantasy football or fantasy drafting in like the last 20 minutes. So,
and season starts next week. You gotta be ready.
It's that time. Everybody's they done seen in preseason who they want to draft and all that.
Bro, I had a good solid 4 picks. After that, I don't know what I was thinking, bro.
Yeah. All right. Hey,
it's like on the show. It's like on the show. You make about 4 good points, and then after that, we don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, chill out. Chill out, man.
All right. Hey, we got one last good comment from the chat before we get our man Emery Jones in here. Aaron Felder. What's up, Aaron? Says the Cane might have done us a favor by playing so bad. They didn't make FSU better by challenging them.
Can't say that.
I mean, in a way, yeah.
They still got some stuff on film, man.
But the thing is,
that's me.
No, that's funny.
Did Duquesne necessarily expose a flaw?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see none.
That's my point. Like if they would have played better competition, you probably would have saw a flaw here or there from Florida State. But because they weren't really challenged, you couldn't see nothing. Like it's one of them things where you don't know if a dam got no hole in it if he ain't got no pressure on it. You know what I mean? So
that's true. That is true. I like that analogy. We'll have to use that.
I stole that from Josh Pate, by the way.
You stole that from me. You heard me say that last week.
Boy, stop. You don't.
I stole that from Josh Pate. That was
how I know you lying because that was actually really good. So
hey, you know what? Hey, if y'all haven't noticed, Ant and the host of the show, they have some kind of agreement to where they always agree with each other.
Nah, negative.
Nah, not at all.
I'm pushing the narrative.
Yeah,
yeah, you're creating a narrative that me and Pooh got some kind of gentleman's agreement to agree all the time, but that ain't
how whenever you used to be at practice and you'd be like, "Look, hey, we're gonna go hard on this play. We're gonna go something."
Yeah, you're like, "Hey, you just find out who you line up against in the Oklahoma drill." Be like,
"Hey, you make me look good. I make you look good."
Hey, Pooh, I done. Your daddy getting on to me now, man.
Oh, he did. What is? I missed it. And leave my boy alone. Daniel.
Hey, that's fact. Thank you, man. Thank you, man.
You know it's bad. You know it's bad whenever your daddy getting on to me now.
Yeah, they be hanging up on me, man. What Chris said, God dog
it. Anyway, all right, we're gonna be back in about 45 seconds with our man Emery Jones.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we're going to bring him back to the Golden Boot. Our man, the Mr. Emery Jones. Proud. What is it? Jones Proud. Big Fit. What's good?
Nothing much.
So, Emery, since the last time we talked to you, you had campus started. You've been putting people on their backs. Has IHOP reached out for NIL deal?
Not yet.
All right. So let me ask you this. Okay. All right. I'm gonna ask this one first. This was actually at the bottom, but I'm gonna ask this one first. You got 1 week left. A week from today, in the Dome against Florida State.
Yes, sir.
I know you're excited. I ain't gonna ask that silly question, but let me ask you this: would you have rather have played on week 0?
Oh no, I kind of like what we playing. Like, we kind of saw A&M in Florida play. So I mean, you get in the football mood, and then I feel like now everybody in the football mood is the game's gonna be even more hyped up. It's even more of a challenge for us. Like, just environmental wise. So I feel like it's gonna be I feel like we're playing in a good week.
Love it.
So what, going into your camp, now that you finished camp, what's your what was the biggest difference between, the college football practice and what y'all did at Catholic?
I'm not gonna lie, like Catholic practice, like it's almost identical. Like we do periods, we do 22 periods at Catholic practice, same thing we do at LSU practice. So it's real identical in how we practice.
So you was kind of prepared for it then.
Yeah, I was definitely prepared.
Emery, how did the off-season workouts, the summer workouts, prepared you for camp? Did you feel like you was in pretty good shape?
Yeah, I feel like I was in amazing shape.
Yeah.
I was the strongest, fastest, I ever been. So I went in confident, and I feel like that definitely helped my performance in camp.
Gotcha. So, man, you got a lot of buzz going on right now, man. I want to say about 2 weeks ago. Right now, they're making a strong claim that you can be a future All-American. What's your thoughts on that?
I just, I talked to my mom about it like not too long ago, and we was talking about my goals and stuff like that. But she said, never get too far ahead in the future. Like, stay focused, stay in the present, and keep your head down and keep working. So I'm kind of just focused on, Florida State right now, beating Florida. Then going after that week 2, going to beat Southern, and then, having a great season. So not too worried about that right now. Stay in the present, work. And, hopefully, that's the goal for sure, though, is to be a freshman All-American. So.
Love it.
All right, Emery. So let me ask this: have you had that welcome to college football moment yet?
Like you saying, like from another player, like on the field or something.
Yeah, like a big hit, chewing out, it just
somebody just beat you on a move that you just can't block them on. You know what I mean? Just
Jaquelin Roy paying you back.
or Tank paying you back.
I definitely had a moment with me and J Roy. My first time going against him, me and him got into it, and it was just like from a competition level, it was just like this college football. Like, you're gonna have to fight against the best, and you're gonna have to stand up for yourself, stand up for what you believe in. Stand up for how you playing. If you playing nationally, you're gonna have to stand up for that and really stand on it. So that was my welcome to college moment.
Yeah. Well, let me going into Florida State. Where's the O-line room at? Like, how?
Did we lose him? Emery, you there?
Okay, there you go.
Okay, there. All right, tell her you'll call her back later, bro.
But now, I was just saying, going into Florida State, where's the O-line room like as a unit? How have y'all gelled through camp?
I'm not gonna lie, we ain't do nothing but been getting better. As a group, we've been getting closer. They just went out to eat for I don't know if y'all know him, but his name Chemo. His birthday was yesterday, so we went out to eat at Stabs. We've been getting closer. We've been a lot more intensity to practice, and I think it's been driving the offense to do some great things. So I feel like we ain't been doing nothing but elevating.
Gotcha.
Like
Emery, so of course I know there's a Hooters NIL deal. Let me ask you a question, man. Did it come to part that you guys would go eat at Hooters every week, and somebody was like, eat all our wings? Did that happen?
Breaking?
Uh-oh.
Can you hear me?
No, he said you were breaking up. I think we lost him. All right, let me take him down for a second. Hopefully Emery will be back in a second. We got a good question from a producer.
that's good.
That's good. There you go. All right, Emery.
What's up,
my
Mom?
bad.
My mama up in here? Yeah.
All right. Oh, hold on. Oh, somebody. Hold on, y'all. All right, there we go. Emery, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear y'all now.
Okay, good. Go ahead, Daniel. Actually,
no. So Emery, the Hooters NIL deal, man. What do you think about that? What's your favorite meal from Hooters?
I ain't never really like go get food from Hooters like for the food. I don't think.
Yeah.
That's the best. Clipping it. I'm clipping it.
Yeah.
Oh man, so I want to ask a follow-up question, but my mom's in here, so I can't say it. So
hey, you know what? No, wait. So I never forget this. My boys were, I think, 10 and 8 at the time, and we went to Hooters, and I went to the restroom and I came back and my wife was just scowling. She was looking. I was like, "What's wrong?" She said, "You need to get them." I said, "What they doing?" She said, "The waitress came over to get their order and they just elbowing each other and they just smiling."
And that day they became men.
Yeah, boy. So they hilarious. But let me ask you this, Emery. What is your first memory of LSU, like growing up? What's the first thing like that just like, oh, this is LSU. Okay, I like them.
I would definitely say LSU playing Florida. I think
Okay.
2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah, national championship year.
And it was a tight game the whole game, and LSU ended up putting it off. Like that valley going crazy, and I remember like walking back to the car and people just, drunk dudes just going. I don't know. It was like the fans in the community how much love they had for the team.
I was at that game, man. When the whole stadium started doing the Gator chant, bro, that was one of the best things I've ever been a part of, bro.
Man, the energy, that's probably still. I've been to a lot of LSU games. That's probably number one. That game takes the.
That's number one. That's number one for me for sure.
All right, Emery, we do got a question from the chat from the producer. Actually,
Great
says,
question,
"How much quicker do you have to get to the second level to get guys like Emery? Like Harold Perkins."
It depends, honestly. Like with college, like that's one of the biggest differences from college and high school is like you got to pay attention to way more stuff. Like they got a whole bunch of factors that playing a part to what you do. So, the safety might be, lower, or the linebackers might be on different levels, which will make our double teams go more vertical or go like past a linebacker. So it really depends on the play. But I ain't gonna lie, Harold perk fast. Like you really got to get there and get hands on him, before he get to running.
Right.
It's definitely quick.
Well, let me ask you this too, Emery. How talented is this freshman class?
I ain't gonna lie, like especially being that most of us from Louisiana, me, LT, Perk, Fitz, Bo, Will, and the list keep going. Jordan Allen. I mean, we just got the Louisiana talent is different, and I think that we brought a whole bunch of that Louisiana talent to LSU, and I feel like that's what's important.
Gotcha.
Who's the best athlete in the O-line room?
I'm not gonna lie, I might have to give it to Will.
Wow. Okay.
I'm just catching up. With his answer from your answer about Hooters. All I'm hearing is a great answer, young man. Good answer. Ryan said Hooters serving flats. You going to the wrong Hooters. And then it's hold on.
It's a family establishment.
Yes, Tuck said it's a family establishment. So,
that's funny. But let me ask you about one of your freshman classmates, Mason Taylor. He's we've been hearing a lot of buzz about him too. How good is he?
Mason has been killing. The last two practices, I didn't see Mason caught probably the most balls out of all the tight ends in team settings. So he been doing this thing for sure. And it kind of came out of the blue because like before the last like 2 or 3 practices, like I wouldn't seen him catch that many. I mean, he was catching them still, but like he started to look like one of the big targets for the quarterback. So like it just was like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Like he really doing what he need to do.
Okay.
Yeah. Edo says, damn, Big Will getting all the praise. I mean, hey, he's worth it. He's worth it. We've been saying that since spring.
2 future All-Americans.
Actually, the old lineman that came in, I really do like Emery, you, Will, Bo,
Fitzgerald West.
Fitzgerald West. He was one of the first ones, and he gets forgotten. But yeah, all y'all, I see the next few years gonna be, paradise.
Be good.
The O-line, them quarterbacks gonna be very well taken care of. Well, Emery, look, it's game week.
Yeah.
What's a change from, I guess you could say, I don't even want to say last week, but just any other week period and this week? What is it? What is the fit? I mean, yeah, tell us about, how you feeling.
Definitely the urgency, like just around the facility, walking around the facility, you can kind of see people starting to already kind of lock in. In meetings, you can see the coaches starting to get more urgent with looking at Florida State and looking at their players, how they react to different stuff. So the urgency around the facility definitely changing, and it's definitely starting to get way more focused and way more locked in to Florida State.
Yeah. Now, Emery, you played in the Dome before, right? For a state championship.
No.
Say it again.
I never played in the Dome. It was
never played in the Dome.
I was on JV and freshman, so I didn't get to play that.
Cool. Well, I guess this is a pretty good question also then. How excited are you that you get the opportunity to play in the Dome?
I'm not gonna lie, Saints always been my team, like my dream team, play for them there. So hopefully this ain't gonna be the last time playing up in there. But I don't know. I'm really excited to go. Just get the whole experience of the dome and see how it looked to be. With the stands packed. You know what I mean? Oh, I think we sold out our tickets, and Florida State sold theirs out too. So it's gonna be. So I'm just ready to see that atmosphere.
Hey, me and Ant gonna be right there, baby.
Look
for us. Hey, look for your boys, man.
So so when game week come, like, do you flip a switch? Like, do you, or are you already in game mode? Has that already been, have you already flipped that switch weeks ago?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like with the D lineman we got, you can't not have that switch on for practice. So you got to be using all your tools because they using all their tools to try to beat you. So I mean, I feel like all our switches are already on just because we gotta practice at such a high level. I feel like all our switches are on. So.
Yeah. Now we've also been hearing a lot that the O-line has been doing excellent in camp. Now is that, I don't even know, should I ask it, but I'm gonna go ahead and ask this question. What's the better unit, the offensive line or the defensive line?
I'm gonna stick with my boys. You know that.
Okay. All right. Okay.
All right. Hey, Emery, we got one more for you. Now we're gonna have to let you go. Unfortunately, we'll have to let you go. But we got one more. How big of a role do active players play in recruiting? That's actually.
I think it's a huge. I think we all play a huge role. Like, especially with like the in-state recruits like Sheldon, Ricky, Colin, me, Will. Just people from the region. We can tell them how it really is, and they know we're gonna be real with them.
Yeah. So you making sure Will been talking to his former teammate, huh?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Already then. Yeah, for sure.
All right. For sure. Well, look, Emery, you already know we pulling for you. We looking forward to it.
Yes, sir.
Jones proud, big 50. You know what I'm saying? Do big things. And he got that call again.
Yep.
He got that call again. Oh, so you be at Hooters, huh? That's what you
and it ain't for the wings.
Yeah. But we look forward to talking to you the next time. We don't know how, you know what I'm saying, but by that time you'll have probably
some snaps under your belt.
You know what I'm saying? Some snaps, a few pancakes.
A start or two,
Yeah. So, but we look forward to it, and hey, best wishes, man.
Yes, sir.
Y'all do what y'all got to out there, man.
Yeah, best of luck to you this year, brother.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Good one, bro.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was our man Emery Jones.
Yes, sir.
That just makes me excited. So. All right, so I want to bring this up because you saw your name, so let me bring it up. Papa says, "Welcome, Dylan. Miss Sonya is losing it to see you on the Golden Boot."
And now he gone.
Now he's shy. He being shy. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's go.
The time has come. We got.
That boy back there jumping ropes and stuff, like he's about to go to a boxing match back there.
Hey,
you see him back there, shadow boxing and everything. I see him back there, bro.
Yeah, but this is something that the people at Down South Football Podcast are a little nervous about. But we're gonna bring on our man. No, please don't. Next coming up is our man. From our man from Down South Football Podcast, Ben Dennis, aka I am DJ Double Dose from the Down South Football Podcast. Welcome to the Golden Boot. What's going on, Ben?
Oh, my bad. I hit the wrong one. My bad.
You on mute, Ben. You on mute. You still on mute.
You're muted,
on
bro.
Mute.
Oh, what up, fellas? My bad. I had y'all on mute. I was making sure that then none of my comments or none of my little steam and shit came out. I was in the backstage. You know what I'm talking about, man? And before we even get started, man, your man that said we wasn't good in the red zone.
Oh.
And let me holler at you,
Okay.
Going into the season, Florida State has scored 32 straight times in the red zone, which is 5th in the nation. Longest streak in the nation. I'm just saying, you know, before we get into that, that's just one thing I wanted to defunct. You know what I'm talking about? Because you said we ain't good in the red zone. I'm like, hold on, brother. I don't know which FSU you was watching. But, brother, we score in the red zone. Now, outside of that, that's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother story outside of that. What's up, fellas, man? How y'all doing tonight,
Hey,
man?
somebody got a bone to pick with you. They've been telling me all week. Say, I got a bone to pick with him. I want you to put all my comments up.
Okay,
so,
what we got? I already know who I got beef with.
They said DJ Single Dose represents the entire.
I already know who that is. You know, these thoughts and views are not football podcast. These are expressly owned by Benjamin Dennis. Okay, I just want to let y'all know that. You know,
that man said you went back to the Jimbo era.
Man, I already know. I ain't fooling with Tony, man. I ain't fooling with him, man. Everybody know Jimbo was my guy. I ain't want Jimbo to leave, but that's a whole nother. We can have a whole pod about that. You know,
man, you can have Willie back.
Jimbo to leave. I'm sitting up here looking like now. Y'all see what it look like, don't you? See what it look like on the other side.
I got a question about that. We're gonna get to that in a second.
Okay,
but I want to do this. I want to get some pleasantries out the way. When at Media Day, SWAT Media Day, we met, you know what I'm saying, we met y'all, me and Ant. We you know what I'm saying, we were a little nervous. Ant was, you know what I'm saying, he didn't know where to go. I was still cool as a cool but we all know that.
This guy right here, bro.
But nah, man, we know what I'm saying, again, on camera, for everybody to say, I want to say thank you to you, you know what I'm saying, Renard, Tuck, Dave, you know what I'm saying, y'all, you know what I'm saying, really filled us in on stuff to, you know what I'm saying, hey, look forward to next year and everything, and, you know what I'm saying, help us this year. So I, you know what I'm saying, appreciate that. But now that's out the way, hey, gloves on, let's go.
Where we headed?
Hey,
where we headed?
But seriously, hey, quick, how did you become I'm not LSU, I'm sorry. How did you become a Florida State fan?
It was, you know what, the crazy part about it was, I'm sure we all around the same age. So I probably was about, this was 93. This was when Charlie Ward was doing this thing. And, you know, you weren't seeing a lot of black quarterbacks on TV, especially doing their thing. So, you know, I'm like, okay, this guy, you know, FSU was doing good. And then I talked to my pops and he was like, you know, Bobby Bowden is from Birmingham. And I was like, what? And, you know, one of the high schools that Bobby Bowden went to now is a predominantly black high school. But when Bobby Bowden went, that's called Woodlawn. But when Bobby Bowden went there, it was Birmingham was a little different back then. So when my pops put me on that, you know, I'm looking at Charlie Ward, and then I'm knowing he from the crib. That was it. I've been locked in ever since.
Not for the LSU fans, not the Woodlawn that Ricky Collins is at. There's a Woodlawn in Birmingham. So I think they did a movie about that recently too.
They did. It was a couple of years ago. They did.
A couple years ago, yeah. So all right. So you brought up Jimbo. So
yes, sir.
Know you're a Jimbo fan. It was something I've always wondered. Wait, Tuck, this is going to be a very inspirational story.
Go on, Tuck.
So, when Jimbo left, it was under at least from the outside looking in, non-Florida State fan, that he left the program in a way worse situation than he received.
He did leave it in a way worse situation he received it in, but the problem was he checked out. And any Florida State fan or anybody inside the program will tell you that last year, he pretty much checked out. He started recruiting, and you heard it from the recruits. Like, you had guys that was like came mid-October, they weren't getting no phone calls from the staff, nothing like that. He pretty much, you know, a lot of people want to bring up, they say the Alabama game is what broke the program. I tell them, nah, it wasn't an Alabama game. Go back to the year before and what Louisville did with us. That's when you knew that we weren't the same, that we weren't the same FSU. You knew that then, because I mean, even though it was a road game, Lamar did numbers on us. So I know a lot of Bama fans want to be like, "Oh, we broke your program." Look at that Louisville. Y'all didn't hang what Louisville hung on us. That game was closed until halftime, so we'll leave that alone. But yeah, he did leave it. his last couple, and then also Jimbo had started recruiting stars. He wasn't recruiting positions of need. So a lot of people would always say, "Oh, FSU is low that talent, they low that talent." But then when you break the team down, yeah, we got a bunch of wide receivers and cornerbacks, but as you have seen over the years, the O-line suffered. And it also suffered behind him not wanting to let his homeboys go. You had an old guy in Trickett who was a great offensive line coach for a long time, but his techniques and things got older. So a lot of those things factored into it. So when he left the program and you bring in Willie T, he thinking like, oh man, you know, they got a lot of talent. But when you look at the space of what a talent is it a lot of talent or is it a lot of talent in one spot? Yeah. And that kind of was what the issue ended up being or has been.
You know what, Ben, I would also say that I think Jimbo kind of gets in his way too, because whenever you're talking about running the offense, his offense nowadays is just so old and it needs to be updated. So
it sound like Les Miles. What you just said, bro. Recruiting stars and not position the lead. The trenches being your downfall, and the offense that is antiquated. That sounds like Les Miles to me.
Yep.
All right. So let's talk about your current coach.
Okay.
Mr.
Norvell.
Cornrows himself.
Manicure toes. What was it? Arkansas State, Arkansas Central, wherever he was at.
Yeah. Central Arkansas.
There you go.
Tuck says boring. And
you really want to talk about Harsin? Exactly.
And then and Tony said, "What's in that cup, Ben?"
You already know. Y'all already know what time it is when it comes to me. Y'all know it's Crown Royal all day, every day. You already
go.
I missed this early. He said, "Nah, bro, you a lot older than him."
You better not. You know what? You talking all this because you ain't coming this weekend. You told me you was gonna let me know about work. You ain't coming this weekend. You ain't gonna be in New Orleans this weekend. That's why you talking like that.
But all right. So Mike Norvell.
Okay.
It's been said several times he's on the hot seat. How do you feel about him?
I'm gonna say this. We stuck with him. I mean, because Florida State is not a program that, I mean, I know everybody wants to bring up, man, when they got ready to get rid of Willie T, they came in with the money overnight. It was like a back alley room after the Wake Forest game. You know, then once they was meeting then the Miami game happened and he was gone. All right, cool. But let's be real, people. We cannot afford to sit around here and pay Willie T, pay Mike Norvell his buyout, and whatever the new coach is going to want. So we stuck with him. Now, unless he messed around and go out here and win 2-3 games, anything other than that, money-wise, we can't do anything about it.
Now, Ben, you guys are Florida State, man. I mean, if Prime wants to leave Jackson State, you telling me you guys are not going to pony up any money to go get Prime?
First of all, hold up, Daniel. Let me help you out. Daniel, think about it. They got IB'd for Travis Hunter.
By Jackson State.
Jackson State.
I mean, wait a minute.
Apparently.
Hold on. He played for the love. He went for the love. He went for the love.
But that was love. That was one of the silliest things I had ever heard fans comment and say that Jackson State paid him. So wait, Jackson State outbid Florida State?
Right.
Make in what world make it make sense? But
But now I want to see what he say though about that question though. So
when it comes to Prime, I mean, you have to think about it like this. You know, like I said, again, to go back to my point, what kind of figure would Prime command? And if you're talking about, like I said, you still got Willie T on the books, and Norvell got a highest buyout too. So you talking about both of those buyouts, you still gonna be paying, and whatever ticket is gonna cost to get Prime to come there, man, we still trying to get a football on the facility. Yeah, we still trying to get a football. Think about that for a minute. We still trying to get a football on the facility. We still ain't got there yet. They working on it.
So let me ask you, with all the talent that Florida State put in the NFL, do those Jalen Ramsey, Derwin James, do you know what I mean? Do Jameis Winston, do those guys like give back to the or is it more like my coach gone, so it is what it is?
It's kind of a mixture of both. When Willie T came that first year, everybody was excited. I mean, you saw Prime even at the game when we played Southern Miss down there. Prime was there on the sideline with him. Everybody was excited. when Willie T came. But the way they handled the Willie Taggart, but the way they handled that situation kind of rubbed a lot of us, the wrong way. So
Could
it's
it
kind of
be,
like,
Could it also been that the way they handled the Prime situation also?
Well, if you want to be technical, at the time, like we've heard, Deion hadn't had his degree yet. It's that little technicality about not having a degree. You couldn't be a head coach, whatever loose technicality that was. So at the time they used that as an excuse not to go fully.
Uh-oh. We lost him for a second. Take him down. Oh, hold on. Here you go. There you go. We lost you for a second.
Oh, you good. You good. They probably like, yeah, we probably should have did what we needed to do, whatever that was. But I think right now with Prime at Jackson, I don't see him dipping until both his sons leave at a minimum. I don't see him leaving before then.
Well, he got a daughter there now too.
Yeah, I don't. While this kid's there, I can't see him dipping. I can't.
Yeah.
That's why I shop at Lowe's.
Yeah, so because somebody asked about asked Auburn about and that's what Tucker's commented on, says every time you build a deck out of wood, you help contribute to that. Yeah. For those of you don't,
that's why I shop at Lowe's. I don't mess with
those of you who don't know, Yellowhammer Wood is the owner is a big Auburn contributor. So you mentioned Norvell. You say you're stuck. So I guess this question may be null and void, but how many wins does it take for Norvell to keep his job? Or let me rephrase that, since you said how many? I ain't gonna say that. How many to keep the fans at least content?
To keep them content, at a bare minimum, he needs to win 6.
Okay.
Because that's a bowl. Like we haven't been to a bowl in the last 2, 3, you know what I'm saying? So to keep them at a minimum, because I don't think that's really gonna keep them at bay. But it's like, hey, I've improved each year. I won 2, then I won this, and then now I done won 6. That's he can use that as say, hey, look, that's progress. You know what I'm saying? That it's slow progress, but it's progress. But I think to really keep everybody off his back, if he could somehow pull off 8 and go 8-4, and your losses is to Clemson, Miami, NC State, and Florida, LSU. It's like, all right, those are 3 of the favorites, and then you got Florida come out the SEC. Everybody kind of get a ball from with that.
Yeah.
So
you forgot LSU, but
So you saying a bowl game is a successful season for Florida State?
At this point, yeah. Anybody that's I'm with you. I just that was kind of my question. What is a successful season? But you kind of said, we need to make it to a bowl game pretty much. Now you got some people out there who talking crazy, but anybody that really is involved and really deep in the program and know what's going on, yeah, man. Like I heard the guys talking about earlier about Duquesne. Everybody saw the debacle with Jacksonville State last year on the national stage.
Right.
Like, nobody's gonna brag about winning 47-7, but you would be a damn faker if you sitting around talking about you weren't happy about the win after what happened last year. You put up 47 points against somebody you were supposed to beat. Yeah. It's Duquesne. There ain't nothing to brag about, but you went out there and you won. You didn't piddly around and you won the game. And coming out the last year, hey, you better be happy about it.
Right. Yeah. Now, I would say this is game week for us.
Yes, sir.
Game 1. Mm-hmm. What's your concerns for LSU, man? What you think?
My concern is LSU's D-line and what they're going to do to our offensive line. We already are on. Hey, we on the pod. We're going to keep it real. We on center number 3.
Wow.
There's Washington. And he's not a center. I'm just going to leave that alone. He's not a center. We had Maurice Smith and we had, I think, Caden Lyles. I forget the cat we got, the transfer we got. They both done got hurt. Maurice Smith stayed hurt. They both have gotten hurt. So in the game yesterday, we got Darius Washington starting at center. He's not a center, but he's a body, and that's what they're using. So, when you look at, we had 3 backs go over 100 yards yesterday. Okay, that was Duquesne. You got
missed tackles.
Right. And if you watch the game, it's like they still, look, you know me, I keep it real. They still was penetrating. A lot of them missed tackles wasn't in the open field. A lot of them missed tackles was behind the line of scrimmage. So it's like, that is a massive concern. It's a big concern.
Hold on, because we're gonna flip side a bit, but Tony said Jimbo had rubbed some former players the wrong way as well. Being, Jimbo and X Rose weren't seeing eye to eye.
Yeah. Deion wasn't even coming down there when Jimbo was there. He right. He 1000% right. If you go back and you think about the Jimbo era, if you think about the 13 championship team and you think about the 14 playoff team, you ain't got no pictures of Deion around there ripping.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so Tony is 1000% correct.
Well, could it be because of the way Jimbo was, running the program? We all know about the stuff that happened under his watch down there. Could it be that ain't Bobby Bowden that ain't how we rocked on the Bobby, and you kind of got the program, the inmates running the program, so to say. So
I'm gonna go deeper with you. It's how Jimbo got the job. There's a lot of people who did not like how
they forced out Bobby.
Yeah. So a lot of his players, of Bobby's players did not like how they forced out Bobby. Even though Jimbo was the coach in waiting, there was a lot of players who did not like how Bobby was forced out. So a lot of them guys
they thought Jimbo was finna leave somewhere else and didn't want to wait too much longer. You know what I mean?
And ultimately, he uses it as a stepping stone.
Yeah.
And they all knew it.
Of course.
I mean, if we as fans knew it, how in the hell y'all people that's paying this man money didn't know that he kind of was using us as a stepping stone?
But was it worth it? I mean, you got a national championship out of it.
Hey, I take it.
All right. Now you talked about some concerns. What are some positives that you can take out of this versus for LSU?
The positive I take about it is Jordan Travis has finally had a complete offseason. A lot of people wonder, like, what kind of happened with the blunder last year with Jacksonville State. Jordan Travis he's been hurt the last 2 seasons going into camp. He hadn't been healthy. And even going into last year, you saw it in the Notre Dame game. He got hurt. Yeah. His durability is an issue. He got hurt. That's why you had the McKenzie Milton magic that came in, for a few drives and did what he did. So this was really the first complete offseason Jordan Travis had, and he didn't have to look over his shoulder. They gave him confidence. They pretty much, because I'm telling you right now, if y'all put Jordan Travis out, I'm walking out. I got tickets to the game. I'm telling you right now, if Jordan Travis get put out, I'm leaving. Because Tay Rodemaker, I digress. So it's kind of one of the situations. They don't put a lot of their baskets into Jordan Travis. They've given him the confidence. They didn't bring in a transfer, which they could have, and they didn't. So it's like, hey, we believe in you, kid. This is like your 4th year in college, because he was at Louisville first. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, look, we believe in you. We giving you the keys to the offense. You healthy. Go ahead.
Yeah.
All right. So
Tuck says you ain't leaving them tickets too high.
Hey, look, listen, I'm in New Orleans, baby. You know what I'm saying? I can go drink. It's fine. So, you already know how I do. I can go drink. I'm not watching tape.
So defensively, you defensively, what are your the positives for y'all defensively going into this game? You would say
defensively, the positive is the same with y'all was the defensive line. I mean, we got Jared Verse, who came in from Albany. Still got you got Big Coop, who came back. Fabian Levitt came back because of an NIL deal, and you got McClendon. That, to me, seeing what they're going to be able to do, because you go out and you get Jared Verse behind the game. Basically, when I got him behind the game he had against Syracuse. He had an all-world game against Syracuse, and he went in the transfer portal. He was arguably one of the number 1 defensive prospects in the portal. You go out and get him. He's not, and FSU fans, listen to me. He is not Jermaine. Jermaine was a freak of nature. He ended up being a first-round draft pick, so stop it. But
isn't he more of like a just strictly pass rusher guy, though? You know what I mean? Like he got some work to do to kind of get what Jermaine was at.
And you saw that yesterday. Yeah. There was a couple of runs Duquesne got off yesterday where he just didn't set the edge like he was supposed to. He didn't. Right. But I look at the D line and I say, can they do enough to keep? Well, we'll find out tomorrow if it's Jaden Daniels, but it should be if they keep Jaden Daniels, somewhat in check.
Well, and how confident are you in you guys' secondary? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, our wide receiver room, Pretty talented.
It's arguable. I'm gonna say it on the podcast. Forget it. I know they were like, nah, it's Ohio State. No, it's the. I was listening to y'all yesterday. I wrote down some numbers, and I'm looking at y'all are 4 deep. Butte, Neighbors, Beck, Jenkins. Y'all are 4 deep.
You might keep going. Keep going. Brian Thomas, Chris Hilton, Kyron Lacey. You know what I mean?
Ray Jenkins.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. And I'll say this: the secondary is what it is. But if y'all see number 7 on the field, Jarian Jones, solution, my brother, transfer that we got from Mississippi State. It's about time for my brother to go ahead and head on by his business. He only started yesterday because of Martin Cooper, for whatever reason, didn't play. And literally, like the first 2 plays of the game, when he was in the Duquesne went at him, and it was like Jarian Jones, this is why you're not.
Yeah, I'll say this. There was a play, I think in the first quarter, they had like a 30-yard post move, and he had the DB beat. He just dropped the ball.
Yeah.
There was a couple of them.
Our receivers ain't dropping it.
I know it. And that's why when everybody was hollering about, I heard a lot of people say, a lot of FSU fans say, Jaden Daniels, he's not accurate. He this, he that. I'm like, have y'all seen their receivers? All he got to do is get it in the radius. That's all he got to do. Like, he's not at Arizona State anymore. You know what I'm saying? He's in a situation where, like, dog, get it in the radius, and there you go. Exactly.
Right. That's true? 5'8"?
Yeah, that's about true. Yeah.
Wow.
Outside of Sam McCall, who's a freshman, and Isaiah Thomas, we short.
So Ben, let me go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, let me say this also. You guys have a couple of talented running backs. We're not just gonna act like you guys don't have talent or we get too big headed. You guys have talent, and they showed it. They displayed it yesterday. Yeah.
I'm gonna say this. Benson. There was a lot of questions about him because when he was at Oregon, he didn't play a lot because he had a bad injury that he had in high school, and then so when he pretty much was at Oregon, he was rehabbing, getting it together. Yeah. But the dog of that group to me is Trayshawn Ward. He was a walk-on. This kid was a walk-on, and he fought his way all the way to the point now he's a lead dog.
If you see that boy in the hole, just prepare for the spin move because that's all he did yesterday.
I know,
spin on everybody.
Like he was just like patient, hit it, spin, and he out. You know what I'm saying? And it's like the running back. And like I said earlier, I don't know, a couple of guys mentioned it. That is our identity. That's it. He was right. The guy said that if Jordan Travis throws the ball 30 times, y'all win. He was 1,000% correct because we're not a throwing team. Our wide receivers are. They're journeymen. It's just like
I was just about to ask you about your. Because you got the transfer. I know, but y'all brought in transfer. You brought in 2 Pac-12 guys. You brought in Michael Pittman, and then you brought in the basketball player Wilson.
With Janet Wilson, whatever from Arizona State.
Johnny Wilson, but he got banged up yesterday. He got hurt yesterday though.
One catch, he gets hurt.
Yeah. So if he, I know he had an ankle, some kind of ankle injury. If he doesn't play. What I know you said y'all want to be a running team, but if y'all get into an obvious passing situation, or if y'all get to a situation where y'all down 14 or whatever, like how do you feel confidence-wise with y'all being able to come from behind or being able to win with Jordan Travis? I know you just said if he throw 30 times, y'all ain't gonna, but is it one of them things where he can't throw it 30, like he can't win from the pocket, or y'all just don't have the talent around him for him to do that?
I'm gonna say this, one of the transfers that they went out and got, the only one that was quote unquote, because Johnny Wilson, Michael Pittman, Deuce Spann, those are 3 receivers they went out and got. All of those guys were guys that was, they weren't really starters. The one guy they went out and got a wide receiver that was starter was Winston Wright. He led West Virginia with receptions. He would have been the guy. He would have been a proven guy. Gets in a car wreck in spring. So right now he's rehabbing. So now you're down to, is Malik McClain going to make that next step? You saw Portier yesterday, who's been in the program almost 3 years, but can he do that against a talented LSU team? Now, he did it against Duquesne, but can he do that against a talented LSU team? And then when you say, can Jordan Travis win from the pocket? I mean, the only throw I seen Jordan Travis make from the pocket where I was like, okay, if he continues to do that, was the 4th and 17 against Miami last year when he hit Parchment and put us on the 1. That one, he got protection, he stood in the pocket, and he let it rip, and it was a great throw. But like again, if we're down 14, that's going to be a hard hill to climb with that receiving core. I mean, it just is.
Ben, I would say my concerns for you guys is, if our defensive line doesn't play discipline, I really think your running back, your running scheme, and your quarterback can kill us. Travis can kill us. So that's my concern for us.
Yeah, I
wanted to pivot. I want to ask y'all a question about how do y'all feel about y'all tight end room? Because we know in the past with Brian Kelly, he has always had that guy at the tight end.
Yeah.
So and when you go back and look at the times that we played Brian Kelly, you go back, you take it back to the David Robinson Jr. game, murdered us. You hear me?
Yeah.
Last year, Michael Mayer murdered us.
Yeah.
And we ain't talking about that. We talking about the tight ends literally came out there and murdered us. How do y'all feel about the tight end room that you have right now?
I feel like like he said, hello Mason Taylor, but I feel like we might not have right now. We might not have that proven superstar like Michael Myers, even though he was a freshman 5-star recruit. You know what he was going to be. You know what I mean? Like and the Tyler Eiferts. You know what I mean? All these, like, you kind of knew what they was going to do. We might not have that guy yet, but I think we have guys who can turn into that, develop into that. But I think we got like 2 or 3 capable guys. Like Cole Taylor, he ain't no superstar, but he's solid. He's serviceable. He's gonna make plays whenever he's called to make plays. He ain't gonna take over a game, but you need a 3rd and 6 catch. He can make that. Gotcha. And Mason Taylor the same type of way. And then you got guys like Mashburn who ain't scared to get their nose dirty and block, and if need be,
Nick Stores.
Yeah, Nick Stores, and if need be, they might could be the second tight end on the 12 personnel, and be the backup option, check down kind of guy and make the most of it. But we don't have a superstar like what you typically think of when you think of Notre Dame. Proven, right? Yeah, because even Mason Taylor, like the guy they talked about, not only is it, but like I said, Michael Myers was a freshman too, but he was a 5-star. You knew what he was.
Like them freshmen,
but Brock Bauer, like they were like Mason Taylor was like a 3-star. You know what I mean? So he wasn't as highly touted coming out, but
he does have the pedigree.
But he's showing that he can, he's capable of doing it.
Right. And I would also say, I mean, our offense, we have a lot of pieces to where we can move a lot of guys around and we can create those mismatches if they want to do that. I mean, like they said, you have Besh, who you put him in the inside, he's killing your nickel. You know what I'm saying? You line him up on the tight end position, he's going to kill your middle linebacker. So we do have a lot of pieces. And for me, I would say whenever it comes to the tight end room, I'm just going to be surprised on game day because I don't know. I haven't watched practice. I haven't been out there, and a lot of these guys, I just don't know, honestly. Yeah.
How confident are you in your coaching staff?
As far as coaching or recruiting?
I mean,
because they 2 different things. You know
I say coaching.
As far as coaching,
going into the game, if it comes down to head coach versus head coach, or coaching staff versus coaching staff, how confident are you in your coaching staff versus our coaching staff?
I'm not. I mean, because I guess I've seen Brian Kelly damn near out-coach a few of our coaches. And even last year, I mean, you can't break down the Notre Dame FSU game. It was a lot of things that happened and went wrong. But, Norvell, at this point, Dillingham left, his offensive coordinator. He left and went to Oregon. Atkins is our all-world ace recruiter, and he doing this thing on the offensive line, but he ain't calling the plays. Norvell called the plays. So it's kind of like now we're talking about Norvell calling plays in clutch situations, and that has been a question in a few games, whether it's going for onside kicks, whether it's 2-point versions, whether it's personnel. There's been a lot of questions about that. So if that game is close I'm gonna lean towards Brian Kelly with that, but I hate to talk out both sides of my neck. If it is close going into the fourth quarter, I'm gonna feel okay because I feel like if LSU was gonna handle our business, it's gonna happen soon. And y'all have seen FSU fold, and if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen early. If we still scrapping and fighting going to the fourth quarter, it's gonna get interesting.
Sure. That's good.
All right.
Well, I got. Go ahead, Pooh.
No, I just said I don't know what else we got. Ben, I don't know what they were scared that about you being.
Nah, man.
I got one for him.
Okay, go ahead, Daniel.
I got one for him.
Ben,
so Coach Norvell, in his off time, is he a preacher by any chance? Because I've seen some of his press conferences and.
Oh, I did see that.
They say
he had him shouting. Yeah.
Hey, look, I'm just gonna say that they say when your man was at Memphis, he was at Memphis.
Okay.
Now look. Hey, look. I said,
man was at Memphis.
I said this.
He was in Memphis.
I said this. I was like at first with the cornrows. I was kind of, I was thinking it.
Yeah.
I was thinking it, but once I saw that video, I knew for certain he got a black baby mama.
Now when he was in Memphis,
he got a black baby mama.
And if anybody and all of us, he was in Memphis. He was in Memphis. You know what I'm talking about? So let me ask y'all this.
Shout out to Bill Street.
Exactly. Let me ask y'all this: when you go into this game and you've seen what we quote unquote did against Duquesne, what are your expectations from LSU going into this game? Is it to focus more so on stopping the run or containing Jordan Travis?
Stopping the run.
Stopping the run.
Yeah.
He didn't honestly
He did.
He didn't 10 or 16, I think, for 169, something like that. No
It was
touchdowns.
Ball, that was
no touchdowns. Like nothing really is. I'm not saying he isn't good or nothing like that, but nothing he did yesterday made me say, "Oh, we can't let him beat us." You know what I mean? It was more like, "Hey, don't let these running backs run wild on us."
Right. And I would say too, Ben. I don't know if you watched the UCLA versus LSU game last year, but going into that game, our deal was we thought we had more talent than they did, but they whooped our butts up front. And if that happens, it's gonna be a long day for us. and we'll control that line. Yeah.
And I'll say one of my last questions for y'all is, me and Tony talk all the time. But how do y'all feel about Jaden Daniels? If tomorrow, which we all expect him to be named as a starter, how do y'all feel about tomorrow? Because I'm gonna tell y'all this before y'all answer. A lot of FSU fans was like, "Oh man, he trash, he inaccurate, he this." For the last 4-5 months, I was like, "Man, give me Miles Brennan. He's a statue. Give me him." Because if you go and you look at the last couple of years, how we've done with mobile quarterbacks, we made and shout out to Dave. Dave already know Malik played in Birmingham. He's from Birmingham. He's a Birmingham Alabama product. Dave has coached him and everything. We had Malik Cunningham looking like, because again, we have struggled with mobile quarterbacks. So for me, I was not enthused about him leaving. I'm like, hey, man, look, y'all around here talking about Jaden Daniels inaccurate and this and that. I'm like, bro, with them receivers, that's a whole this thing.
I've been a Jaden Daniels fan since 2019.
So you already know.
When they were talking about him coming to LSU, and I started seeing his tape that he's inaccurate, I didn't see it.
Me either.
He
not to that degree.
No. He phenomenal. I thought when he came in, I was like, okay, this is the starter. I immediately thought that, but again,
I would also say too, I'm pretty confident in Jaden. I think he'll be fine. But I'm also confident in Garrett Nussmeier. For instance, if they say that they want to put Nuss in. Nuss is not as athletic as Jaden, but he still got some wheels.
He's not a statue.
He's not a statue. And not only that, a lot of people don't like the fact that this kid is a gunslinger. I like it. He reminds me of Johnny Manziel a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So I like him.
That's a conversation we just had last week. That's not Johnny Manziel wasn't a gunslinger though.
Yes, he was.
You don't think so?
No, he was.
You don't think so?
Yes, gunslinger.
The way he used to just throw it up to Mike Evans.
Exactly.
That's a gunslinger. With him just throwing it up to Mike Evans is like, Go get
Boom.
it, bro.
Hey,
Go get it.
that's what I told you. Mike Evans got 80% of Johnny Manziel yards that year. All he did was throw it up to him. That's all he did.
I mean, but that's almost like a gunslinger mentality. Like, you know what? I'm going to throw it to you. I don't care who the hell is on you.
Right.
You my guy. I'm going because it was almost
see,
like
my thing. I get what you're saying. My thing with gunslinger is more like double cup, trying to fit it between, in a window between two guys on a slant. You know what I mean? Or on a post, trying to fit it between, Brett Favre type. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, I trust my arm to throw it in between you two guys that I can get it there. That's kind of how I look at a gunslinger, not throwing up 50-50 balls.
But let me tell you something. But you know what? Ask Auburn fans since they watching about gunslingers. Ask them about J-Boo. You know what I'm saying? Because when we had Calvin Benjamin, we didn't care. We didn't care. That touchdown that we hit to win a game, it didn't matter, man. They had Chris Davis on us. You already J-Boo knew what time it was. Once he lined up and he saw, he like, you know what? I'm throwing it up. You already know he's finna go get it. So it kind of like you said, you can view gunslinger from multiple ways, you know, and I'm with you. Like, hey, when he had Mike Evans, Johnny Manziel was just like, yo, go get it. I know you're gonna go get it.
To me, it wasn't gunslinger as much as it was just effort. He down there somewhere, you know what I mean? And like gunslinger to me is like what Tuck said, it's trying to throw a ball through a car window while the car moving. You know what I mean? Like, to me, that's what gun. But
what I think about it too is just not somebody who's not afraid to let that thing go. You know what I'm saying? That's what it means to me. But you mentioned Winston. Winston, Florida State product, and I'm hoping he has a good season this year. You have any expectations for your guy?
I definitely do. I mean, if you look at what he was doing last year, look at what he was doing last year before we got hurt. Yeah. And this is like, and that was without Michael Thomas.
Right.
And he was doing what he was doing. And now you give him Michael Thomas, you give him Olave.
And
Kamara's not suspended now.
And Jarvis Landry.
I'm just saying, look.
And a coach that ain't gonna hold him back offensively.
That's right.
So I'm just saying, when you look at the numbers, and even when people talk about his last year in Tampa, I mean, he threw how many of them in the session? He threw 30 touchdowns too.
That's right.
Like everybody can't, even though he threw
and for 5,000 yards.
And for 5, you talk about the picks, but
everybody he was blind.
Them in the TDs.
And he was blind. I always thought that
he was blind. He been squinting since he was at FSU.
Yes,
he been that ain't even that new.
Somebody said that he didn't really try to steal them crab legs. He just didn't know that was the end sign. He couldn't see the exit sign. You know what I mean?
Oh, man, come on.
I mean, public. We all know public have been giving that man them crab legs. That one day. You know what I'm saying? That one day the manager.
You had that. Now you had that one. You had that one security guard who loved their job too much.
Too much, exactly.
Right.
Well, Ben, look, it's been great.
Before you go,
I'm sorry.
What up?
I need a score prediction.
Give me FSU 27-24. Fitzgerald gonna end that bitch in the dome. The last time I was with a kid, the last time I was in the dome, I was there. I'm a 49ers fan. The last time I was there, I watched Robbie Gold walk us up out of there with a field goal. I'm taking Fitzgerald to do the same thing.
Boo.
Give me FSU
tomato. I'm throwing tomatoes.
27-24.
I like it.
Neither one of us getting a third.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good on
I
that.
knew it.
But listen, Ben, I don't know why they were so nervous to have you on here.
They know better.
I know they.
I think you did a good job, Rip.
They know how to act right in front of company. They know better.
I loved it, man.
But I will say, I have seen you in action.
Exactly.
So I understand. Y'all
got a lot of people. Y'all got a lot of eyes. Y'all do Twitter spaces. Y'all got a lot of eyes. Look, bro.
Said he on his best behavior.
I had a whole page. You feel me? I had a whole, you know what I'm saying? I had a whole page. You know what I'm saying? I was ready. You know what I'm saying? I know how y'all get down, man. So y'all went finna corner me. I know.
Wait. Tony came. He said Winston stole those crab legs for Mia Khalifa.
And he did because, she said the whole team out. You know what I'm saying? Bill, man.
I don't know. I don't know who she is, so I can't relate.
Look up,
Anyway,
stop lying.
Hey, so the producer said, "I loved being until that exact moment." Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'm gonna be in New Orleans this weekend, man. I'm gonna get there Saturday, man. So definitely want to link up with you guys, man.
Definitely, man. We'll be in that thing, bro.
Like I said, I'll be there Saturday, man.
Ryan said all the good guests have one bad take. He ain't lying. He ain't lying. Yeah.
So what? So before I go,
yeah,
what I need score prediction from y'all before I go.
All right, LSU 48-0. No, I'm just talking. Nah, I think it's gonna be. I realistically think. I'm thinking it's like. I'm gonna say 35-24.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna go 34-21.
Okay.
I say 35-14.
Oh, damn, the disrespect. You know what? Y'all let me know if y'all let me know if y'all do an instant reaction pod. I will be at the hotel. You know what I'm saying? With the hotel Wi-Fi after the game. Because if not, I'm gonna be sipping anyway. So I will be at the hotel. I'm gonna be in New Orleans.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it, bro. We're gonna be there.
For sure, bro. For sure.
But all right. Again, Ben, we appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, that has been our man, Mr. Ben Dennis, aka I am DJ Double Dose from the Down South Football Podcast. All right, fellas. I guess we got a few quick hitters real quick. We can hit up. Little NCAA, little Saints. I do want to throw these. Some of these we can move to Thursday. Quick question for you: have y'all seen the Manti Te'o doc?
Haven't yet. I'll watch it this week, so we can talk about it Thursday.
We'll talk about it Thursday. It's interesting. We'll get back to that. Yeah. Let me see. Saints preseason game. They played
the Chargers
and they finally won one. It was like 30-17 or something like that. But Jameis Winston came out that thing looking
sharp,
looking real sharp. What are y'all thoughts?
The only thing I taken away from that game is Trevor Penning injury. Torn ligament in his foot, got to have surgery. Don't know how long he'll be out, but that's the biggest takeaway from it to me.
I mean, hopefully he comes back next season.
Yeah, I mean we still got Hurst who can start for us, but you don't have that swing tackle now with him out, so it's kind of a depth issue at this point. But
honestly, I all prayers up to Chris and his family, but I do wish he was on here because he was talking hot garbage last week on Andy Dalton taking Jameis's spot. Yeah. So no, it ain't happening, bro.
Yeah, and both of them, man, both quarterbacks look good. And we trashed Ian Book, but I told somebody earlier today, I ain't gonna say he looked good, but he looked decent. He looked decent. And he made some plays with his feet and made some better decisions. So looked like he ain't gonna be a complete waste.
D-Payne said he gonna buy you a drink, but he also says that Jameis gonna really prove them doubters wrong again this season, but we getting a full season this year.
I'm with it.
Hey, with no handcuffs. So let's go.
Good. This Mike Thomas quote unquote injury. What was it, a sore hamstring or something?
Yeah.
Is he? I don't know. I didn't see the game. Did he play in the preseason game or? Are we concerned, or is this just like it's a minor? We'll see him in the regular season.
The thing about a hamstring injury, man, is it can linger. It's kind of like a growing ankle. Yeah, like an ankle injury. You know what I'm saying? It only heals when you rest it. So that's scary, bro. Yeah, but all he does is run slants, so he might be okay. I don't know.
Boy, though.
Yeah, but that's my concern is will it linger? I think we're in a better spot this year than last year if we had to miss him. Go without him for a little while. But I just want him to be 100% whenever he does come back. I don't want him to rush nothing.
Me too, man. Me too.
Kirk Merritt moved to the running back room.
Potentially, yeah, they had him. They had him doing some meetings and stuff with the running backs. I think it's just them trying to find a way to get the dude on the roster. Louisiana kid from Destrehan. He been making some plays throughout camp and in the preseason game. So with the receiving room is crowded. We know the three-headed monster. Then you still got Deontay Hardy, Callaway, Traquan. I think they're just trying to find a way to get the dude on the roster.
Right.
All right. This one we've been tabling for the last couple of weeks. Or last couple of shows. I ain't gonna say weeks. Should the Saints trade Chauncey Gardner? As we know, he had the hold in, hold out, whatever you want to call it.
I can make the case both ways. So which one you want, Daniel?
Don't trade him.
I say the reason why you do trade him is because he wants to be the highest paid slot corner in the game, and there's nothing that he has. I mean, he's a good corner. Don't get me wrong, but there's nothing that he's done to show that he deserves slot highest paid player at his position money. Number two, you have Bradley Roby, Alontae Taylor. You have a lot of depth at that position where you can afford to trade him and get something for it. And then third would be this is his last year on the contract. So unless you want to franchise tag him and pay him a lot more because he's going to argue that he's a cornerback and not a safety, then you know that you're gonna pay him a lot more than he's worth if you franchise tag him. So just go ahead and trade him now and get something for him. That way you don't have to deal with the headache of a contract extension.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. I just think he brings a lot of attitude and swagger to that defense, man. And I would love to see him in Honey Badger play together along with Lattimore. I think that secondary would be very good. So
yeah,
they can work out, but him wanting to be paid the highest nickel safety. Who's the highest paid nickel safety in the game? Right
I think it's Kenny Moore from the Colts at like $8 million a year.
Yeah, I mean, and if we franchise tag him, man, what would you
as a safety? He'd be a safety. If I'm not mistaken, it's like 12 million for a franchise tag safety. That's like so he'd be $3 million over the highest paid guy at his position. And according to some, he's not even worth being the highest paid at his position. So how much would you really be overpaying him if you're paying him $11 million a year?
I mean, he's a good player, but I think his attitude and his mouth makes him appear better than what he is.
I think it's one of them things to where he has more value to the fan base than he does to the team because of, like you say, his attitude kind of embodies how we feel about the Saints, like that us against the world kind of mentality, getting up in Tom Brady's face with the little pose and the meme that we all know, like that's why we value him so much, not necessarily because of his play, but because of his attitude.
Right. But I'll say this, my last thing on Chauncey, Tyrann make a lot of players look good. So you might want to get that contract done if you decide to keep him. So.
Chase Young is on the PUP list. Physically unable to perform list. This is, I think, still stemming from his injury last year. He will miss the first 4 weeks of the season. So
that's a big blow. That's a big blow to them.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Kid can ball.
All right. FAMU, we want to touch it now? We can touch it. It's a little. So yesterday, FAMU played their game against North Carolina. It actually looked very impressive, especially in the first half.
Well, they hung with him for 3 quarters, pretty much.
Yeah. They were without 20-plus players due to ineligibility reasons. A lot has been speculated. Nothing has really been confirmed. Isaiah Land did make a Twitter post today basically saying he was proud of the team and how they perform. He looks forward to getting back out there and playing with them, but only in God's time because he is ineligible due to things outside of his control, which led some to infer that this is due to admissions or administrative reasons.
Right.
So
I've seen a lot of people say that most of the players who are ineligible were people who transferred in, or players who entered the transfer portal and then took their name out of the transfer portal. So I don't know if that has something to do with, getting cleared by the NCAA as a student at this school, or what the case may be. But it's one of them things like John Emery's situation where the kid gets punished for something that he might not necessarily done wrong, but he's the one that's got to be punished for it.
Yeah.
And I've also heard on this particular subject that it's been a compliance issue on FAMU's part, as far as like you have one person that's responsible for all the entire athletic department when it comes to their grades. Yeah. So I've heard that also.
Well, they have one student. They have one person who's a student academic advisor and one compliance person for all sports. Yeah, so it's kind of impossible. It's kind of hard to. I mean, and FAMU, this ain't the first time they've had eligibility issues or anything like. They've been struggling with APR for a long time. They've had a lot of issues going on down there. And it's one of them things we talked about Dion and how he's doing a lot to bring the spotlight to HBCUs and stuff. These are the types of things that people in the HBCU fan bases and alumni and things, that these are the types of things that they're hoping that can get fixed and get corrected by people like Dion coming in and the HBCUs having a bigger spotlight on them, and that some of the behind the scenes things can get ironed out since they got more eyes on them now.
Yeah.
All right. Also, Auburn. Auburn's AD resigns. I didn't look up a lot of it. There's been a lot. There have been the AD at Duke spoke out about this.
Yeah, he said congratulations on leaving or something, of getting out of there or something like that. That's tough.
Yeah. Auburn has been a dumpster fire for the last 5 months, man. The fact that they tried to blackmail their coach, however long. The fact that they tried to pretty much blackmail their coach into
5 years
resigning has been crazy.
It's been,
man. Do you not remember how like every year it was Gus gonna get fired, Gus ain't gonna get fired, Gus gonna get fired, Gus ain't gonna get, like, it's been like that for forever. Yeah. And then the whole last offseason, when Harsin got fired, they fired Malzahn, and part of the fan base or boosters and all that wanted Kevin Steele to get the job, and then Kevin Steele wasn't gonna get the job. They hired Harsin and tried to make him keep Steele, and it just looked like, man, it's too many Chiefs and not enough Indians around there.
Does Gus look better now having to deal with all that?
Yep.
Man, that dude BK just said the same thing I just said. It's crazy. But does Gus have? Yeah, I think so in a way, because it kind of looked like it wasn't him. Like the dysfunction wasn't all on him.
Right. Yeah. And then not only that, I mean, Gus put out a lot of good teams, man. He played a lot of good games. It never really was. Whenever we played Auburn, it was always a good game. When Alabama played Auburn, it was always a chance that Alabama could get beat. You know what I'm saying?
Gus getting fired kind of feel like Phil Fulmer getting fired.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
our man Renard from down south football says, one day I will explain it all.
Well, we ready to hear, brother.
We play Auburn this season.
Yeah,
we
got to get him on, not Tuck, because Tuck a little too. He gonna start showing pictures like he did at Swag Media Days, and I ain't got time for that.
Matter of fact, we need a good picture, so we can put up. You are not allowed in Tiger Stadium. Because Daniel, you weren't there, but he basically the last 2 times he's come to the game at Tiger Stadium was in '94 when Auburn beat LSU, and last year when Auburn beat LSU.
Damn.
Then he lit up. Then he had a picture of him smoking a cigar in Tiger Stadium, dog.
It's so disrespectful. Was that was a cigar game?
I'm saying last year he did.
Oh, last year he did. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. I hope the fire marshal catch it. Anyway, besides Florida State, Duquesne, week 0. What was the game that y'all saw that kind of had you glued or was interested or
the Northwestern game was good. It was a good game.
Nebraska,
Scott Frost dumb, but it was a good game. The FAMU game, seeing them hang in for as long as they did without all their guys.
Minus the weather, Alabama State.
That was a long game, bro.
Yeah.
I gotta give Vandy. I gotta give Vandy some credit.
Yeah.
Vandy came out and man, they played better than I think I ever seen Vanderbilt play. Hey, they said the last time Vanderbilt hung 63 points, Mac Brown, like the head coach, Mac Brown, played for Vanderbilt.
Dang, that's crazy.
Wow.
1923, that's crazy.
What's it, 1923?
Hey, I don't know if y'all saw this. Nicaragua was in the Little League World Series due to visa issues and passport issues and stuff, customs and stuff. It was only one parent that was able to come over. So it was only one parent that was able to come over. So
I know that poor fella was stressed out, or poor woman was stressed out having to deal with all them kids.
No. I'm talking about as a fan, not the coaching. I'm talking about as a fan. So this is what happened. The people of the Nicaraguan descent all around the country got together and they came to the game to support. So that's the kind of stuff that the Little League World Series is all about. Speaking of, Hawaii,
yes sir,
beat Curacao today 13-3. They mercy ruled them in the fourth inning. They said that is the quickest game they've had in a long time.
Well, Hawaii had to win something this weekend.
You're right about that. Kevin Durant staying in Brooklyn. That's a quick, pretty much can go anywhere. Oh well. Chet Holmgren, number 2 overall pick. The first pick by the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Daniels, Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah, injured his foot in the
it's not my team.
in the crossover league, the crossover pro-am league in Seattle. He is out for the season.
And I just want to see how quick NBA teams gonna start putting no exhibition games in contracts.
Mm-hmm. Hey, quick question, and then we can get ready to go to this might stir a little controversy too. Is Art Browse the Nick Saban of Baylor? And I know y'all looking at me. This is what I'm saying. So when Nick Saban came to LSU in 2000, right? It changed the course of how, I guess you could say, the trajectory that the program was going in. And every coach since then has been able to find success very quick. At Baylor was bottom of the barrel. And I'm not talking about winning championships. But with Art Brown being at Baylor, since he's left, no matter which coaches come in, they've been able to find success. They may have struggled for a season, but they've been able to find success very quickly.
Hey, you go first on this one.
I can't get that to him because when Nick Saban came here, first of all, Jerry DiNardo kind of really
that was gonna be my thing. God dog it.
He really
well, you should have went first. He gave you the opportunity.
if you already had your point, you should have went.
Well, I wanted you to go, and I was going to elaborate on it.
But
go ahead. That's good.
I'll let you keep that point. I'll just stick to this then. Art Browse necessarily, I guess you could say he showed that he could win there. But what Nick Saban did was Nick Saban came and there was really no drop off for any coach. You know what I mean? It was just, here's the torch, keep running with it. Here's the torch, keep running with it. And at Baylor, it was sort of like, oh, here's the torch. Oh, dang, I dropped it. You got to pick it up. You know what I mean? You got to pick it up and do it yourself. You know what I mean? It's like, I might bring the torch to you, but I ain't finna just hand it to you. I'm going to drop it. You're going to have to pick it up because, like, if you look at Matt Rule, he was terrible his first year, and he kind of had to build it. Even the Joey McGuire dude or whatever his name is, the Jerry, whatever, not Jerry Maguire, that's the movie. Joey Maguire, I think was the dude right after Art Browse. He like the interim coach. He was, you know what I mean? Like he couldn't sustain it neither. You know what I mean? So then Matt Rule came, terrible, built it up. Dave Aranda first year was terrible, then he built it up. So it's kind of like
Dave Aranda's first year was the COVID year too. So
I mean that's fair, but they were still terrible. I mean, everybody had to deal with COVID. You know what I mean? So
but talent-wise, I mean, come on.
Yeah. So, but the thing, that's my thing is like with Nick Saban at LSU, it was just like 20 years of straight success. Like we didn't lose 6 games. You know, we won 6 games every year, pretty much for 20 straight years. You know, with no losing season for 20 years. Like that hadn't been done at Baylor. I get what you're saying though, but I don't think it's the same.
And honestly, I can. There's no need for me to even elaborate. And killed that. He killed it. But what I can say is for the first time in 20 years, LSU's football program is completely headed in a new direction. You know, because what Nick Saban did 20 years plus years ago, it has literally been broken since the first day that Brian Kelly was hired. I mean, completely revamped. So this week right here is literally a new start to LSU football program.
Edo dropped the baton. You know what I mean?
Ryan said he dropped the soap. Pause. Ryan, what you be going through your mind? Good God, man. You need help.
But yeah, I get your point, and I'm trying to think of like who would be Browse. You know what I mean? Like,
I think Gary Donato is a pretty good comparison.
No, but I think he browsed one more though. You know what I mean? So it would kind of be like,
but I mean, when you think about the impact,
Kevin Sumlin.
Okay, I get it.
Kevin Sumlin, like Texas A&M was terrible. Kevin Sumlin got there. They started winning and started having a little bit of success, and then everybody, the people who came after him, you know, was able to kind of just carry it on. You know what I mean? Like they might have
Jimbo Fisher.
Yeah, I know, but he turned the program around, and where the guy after him might have had a down year or two. You know what I mean? But he was still able to kind of build on that success.
You out of focus.
And to me, honestly, they still are mediocre because they haven't really done anything yet.
I mean, but that's fair. But at the same time, yeah, that's fair.
Okay. All right. I think the rest of these we
hate them bad boys.
We can wait till Thursday. On these. All right. Well, I guess it's that time, fellas. All right. I know Daniel going last. You want to go first? You want me to go first?
I'll go first since I'm always like the mood killer. I'll go and kill the mood first, and then y'all can bring it back up.
All right.
All right. So I'm calling the Buffalo Bills, and they recently ex-punter Matt Araiza, however you say his last name, to the altar. So Matt Araiza was accused of gang raping a 17-year-old at a party whenever he was in college. And I ain't getting into all the details. Y'all can look it up. It's pretty disturbing. But he kind of admitted to having sex with the woman, and then she asked him like to re-clarify that, and he kind of was like, hey, my name is this, and you know, I have no further questions and all that, kind of realizing that the police was getting involved. So he had been named in a lawsuit from the victim, and the Buffalo Bills knew about the lawsuit. They knew about the lawsuit on July 31st, and yet they cut their other punter and named Araiza the starting punter about a month after that. It wasn't until recently where they got all the backlash where they claimed that they, you know, found more evidence and more details and more information, I should say, and more details, and that's the reason why they released them. But I think that's a bunch of BS. I think what happened was y'all got outcry and y'all got a bunch of backlash, and so that's why y'all decided to release him. So I just want to know, where was y'all's due diligence? What's up with all these NFL teams? Cleveland Browns not talking to any of the victims or to the lawyer of the victims. The Buffalo Bills not doing their due diligence. And when are y'all gonna start taking what these dudes do to women seriously and start holding them accountable and not giving them jobs again? Like, this is sad. And honestly, if it was any other business, they would do better due diligence on who they hire to represent them. Why is the NFL doing that?
Whew, all right, yep, kill the mood. So all right. I just want to talk to week 0. NCAA week 0. Come to the front. Listen. This offseason has been longer than a CVS receipt. This thing been longer than monkey toes. I was so excited yesterday. Week 0 brought us Northwestern Nebraska. It brought us Alabama State, Howard. It brought us Vanderbilt, Hawaii. It also brought us Illinois, Wyoming. I'm going to be honest with you. On a normal Saturday, I probably wouldn't even watch any of those games. And I watched all of them. FAMU, North Carolina. And I enjoyed every bit of it. Greg McElroy went on and said earlier this week that week 0 should be for FCS and Group of 5. And I tend to agree. There's no, Florida. No, I'm sorry. Stephen F. Austin and Jacksonville State played in Montgomery, and it was a fantastic game. It was a game where both teams were highlighted. Teams were on. They weren't on ESPN3. They were on main ESPN, and people got to see these games and enjoyed them. Like I said, it was something that I truly enjoyed. Week 0 was what we were missing. Now it's time for the real ball. Let's get it. Week 1, let's go. First up on the docket, Florida State. Let's knock them off.
Definitely. Man, Pooh, if possible, can we play that Prime video?
Daniel, we know how we have copyright.
Correct. Never mind. All right, so change the course. No worries. But I do want to call Coach Prime to the altar. Y'all know I'm a huge fan of Coach Prime and what he's doing for HBCUs, and not only that, what's he doing? What he's doing for young men, and he's making men. There was a video that came out, and I'll post a link on our Twitter page. But it was a video that came out of Prime, kind of telling his guys, what's expected of them. He doesn't want his guys to wear any flip-flops to class. He doesn't want them to wear any white beaters to class. He wants them to sit on the front row. And the reason why he's doing that, of course, he explained it, is that he just wants to create men. And not only that, the best part of it is you don't know when you might need that professor's help. So my thing is, I like that. And, he's raising the bar. He's setting the standard for those guys. And, we've had a lot of talks about how, if somebody came and dropped Prime a bag, would he go? But what he's doing right now in those guys' lives is going to be forever cemented. And he's creating a new, generation of young men who's going to be able to go out and be successful just because of the standard that he's setting for them. So kudos to Coach Prime, and keep doing what you're doing, man. And we will always be a fan of you. Hey, Pooh Bear, you muted.
Yeah, my boy Coach Prime watched Coach Carter over the weekend and was like, "Hey, that's a great idea."
Hey, I want to say I truly enjoy Emery, and we always enjoy when Emery, Tank, and those guys come on. Truly enjoy having Ben on, bringing us a different perspective. Keeping it real about FSU. It's some things that he said that a lot of, that we've heard a lot of smoke blow. What I'm saying, these last 24 hours.
That was real.
He kept it real with us, what I'm saying, so
pretty confident.
And I truly appreciate that.
I expect him to be confident, as a fan, but he did keep it real about their areas of concern and their weaknesses and stuff like that. So I applaud him for keeping, not coming on here trying to, pump his squad up, but just shooting it straight with us.
Right. I agree.
Yeah. We'll be back Thursday. It's game week.
Hey,
Let's
Let's
go.
Let's go. It's game. Oh, shoot. Thursday. We'll see. I'll let y'all know. We'll talk about it.
Hey, you know what you forgot to do, Pooh?
What's that? Oh, post of the people poll of the week.
Yep.
You know what? I ain't got the pretty graphic, but I do got the. Hold on, give me 1 second. 1 second, y'all forgive me.
I'll start singing.
Please don't. We're gonna lose guests.
No, we're not, man. Come on. Let's get it started in here. No.
Numbers dropping.
Hey, while we wait, let me say this. Guys, please like, share, and not only that, if you know anyone, small businesses, big businesses, large businesses, that could possibly benefit from being sponsored on our show, tell them hit our inbox, man. Hit our DMs up.
All right, here we go. Post of the people poll of the week. What position group will score the first touchdown of the season? We had 232 votes, and everybody thinks it. Well, most people think it's going to be the wide receivers or tight ends. The running backs were the next with 22.8. The quarterbacks via a rush were third with 10.8, and the defense, special team, or other was in last with 1.7%.
So what would the other be? Would that be like a fumble and an offensive lineman picking it up?
Bingo. or Preston brought it up and he thought about. He was like, "What if say there was a trick play and they threw a pass to the quarterback and the quarterback scored it?" I was like,
a quarterback scoring it, but it's not via rush. It's via reception.
Yeah, it's the other.
Boy, y'all thinking outside the box.
Super duper.
So, but I think we I think for the most part, we all just think that LSU gonna score. Now, one thing I did hear that was pretty good. Oh, hold on a second. Just want to say thank y'all for everything that you guys do. I listen in Spaces pretty much every night, and to the podcast when y'all are on. Y'all do not go unnoticed. Thank you guys. Shout out to Ant 318, baby. All right, man.
Shout out 318, baby.
Thank you, Tyler.
Appreciate the kind words, my boy.
And the check cleared.
I don't even know that guy, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, bro. Hey, Tony is my guy. Tony is my guy, bro. I sound like Frank Ocean. That's my boy.
I don't think
is that a compliment?
I don't think that's the compliment you wanted, though, Daniel.
What you mean? Frank is the GOAT. What y'all talking about?
We'll keep going.
Throat goat. But
in the show. We just talked about sponsors and we just lost them. See you Thursday.
Pause. All right. And like that, we out. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe on Twitter at Golden Boot. On Instagram at Golden Boot. On YouTube at The Golden Boot Pod. On Facebook at The Golden Boot Pod.